get started.
The crepe batter is so simple to make and it comes together in a blender. Start with the wet ingredients first. That's 1/2 cup of lukewarm water, 1 cup of warm milk, any kind of milk is fine, 4 large eggs, 4 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Now we'll add 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a pinch of salt. Cover that tightly with a lid and blend on low speed until the mixture is well combined, scraping down the sides of the blender as needed. If you've added the wet ingredients first, usually there's no need to scrape down the blender. Easy peasy. Set that aside to let those bubbles die down a little bit, and we're gonna preheat our pan. This one's my favorite. It's just a regular 10-inch non-stick pan. I've used this one for years. I also love this super thin spatula to help get under the crepes to flip them easily. And this pan requires about 1/4 cup of batter. You can also find these specific crepe pans. This is a 10-inch pan and I love this one just as much as my regular non-stick pan. Now, if you love those big French style crepes, you can use a cast iron crepe pan. This is 28 centimeters and it's quite heavy, so it does come with some tools to help you spread your batter in the pan and another tool to help you flip the crepe. This one's heavy, but it's fun to play with. It takes a little bit of getting used to. This one does require more butter to keep the crepe from sticking and twice as much batter because it makes a larger crepe. I'll link to all of these crepe tools in the notes. I'm going to show you how these work and that you can use this same great batter with any kind of crepe maker. Place your crepe pan over medium heat and let that heat up a little bit, then add just a small dot of butter. If you're using a non-stick pan, you hardly need to add any butter. And remember, there's also butter in the crepe batter, which helps keep it from sticking. We'll get 1/4 cup of crepe batter, and you'll see those bubbles have died down a little bit already. Swirl that into the pan. With one hand, I'm adding the batter, and the other hand, I'm swirling the pan at the same time to get an even coating on the bottom. Historically, the first crepe in the pan is never the prettiest, so don't get discouraged if that happens to you. Once you see the edges turn golden in color, slide a thin spatula under the crepe and flip it over. It should have a beautiful golden, lacy appearance. And because the batter is so thin, the crepes cook very quickly, so keep an eye on them. As soon as the bottom side is cooked through and lightly golden, flip that out onto a clean cutting board. Now you can repeat with the next crepe. You can see that second crepe always turns out better and much prettier. When I'm making crepes for my family, I always have 2 skillets going at one time, so there's no waiting time and they're done twice as fast. Now I'm going to show you how it's just as easy to make these crepes in a regular non-stick pan. It's the same process. One hand is pouring the batter in and the other hand is swirling the pan until you get an even coating on the bottom. Flip the crepe once you have that golden edge. Give it another 30 seconds and turn it out onto a cutting board. The last pan that we'll try is the heavier cast iron pan. I'm adding a generous dot of butter to keep the batter from sticking. And you want to make sure that the pan is preheated before adding the batter. You'll need a 1/2 cup measurement of batter in this pan. And because it's heavy, it's difficult to swirl the pan, which is why we use this special crepe tool to push the batter around the pan and evenly coat the bottom. Once you see the edges turn golden, use your flipping tool to get under the edges of the crepe, then flip it right over.
Oh, whoa. That's crispy.
This one might have gotten just a little bit overcooked. I told you, this one takes a little bit more time to get used to. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't want this pan to get too hot, otherwise when you add the butter, it'll go berserk and attack you. This pan is fun to use when you have a little extra time to figure it out, or if you're looking for a good cast iron option. There's something about using a traditional pan like this that'll make you feel like a French crepe master.
I am so excited because I get to eat these crepes. All right, but before we dig in, I'm gonna show you how to fold these. There's a few different ways, and it depends on how you're serving them. So if you're gonna fill them, our favorite way, the way we make our cheese crepes, and I will link to that recipe because that filling is my favorite. So you just put the filling on, and then we just roll it up like so, and then cut it in half. Or you can leave it whole, but super easy. Or you can make a panakit, I think is how it's pronounced, but that's basically a square. So you fold in, put in the filling, fold in the edges, and then you fold in the other two sides, like so. You've got a squarish rectangle. Okay, the other way is what's called a cigarette. It's a horrible name for food, but so basically you would put in the filling, then you would tuck in the sides to keep the filling in and roll it up so that it looks like a cigarette. It looks like a burrito to me, but whatever. The way that we're gonna make these today, and this is my favorite for when you're putting them out on a platter so people can fill them their own way. This is perfect for buffets or if you're doing a crepes party. So basically, you fold it in half and then you fold it again. So you are folding them into a fan. And you can even fold them once more. What I like to do is overlap it a little bit so then it just looks extra pretty. And I love serving them on this crepe pan. It just feels right to serve crepes on a crepe pan, whatever. So fold them into fans. And my phone's ringing. Hold on. We're filming right now. Okay, I'll call you back. Okay, thanks, bye. Sorry about that. Okay, let's turn that off. It's funny because if it's my husband's phone that goes off, I'm just like, right, honey? Okay, we're gonna get back to this. Focus, focus, because I wanna eat them. Okay, so we're gonna just continue fanning these, folding them into fans, and then just arrange them down the center. Like so. So pretty. And I like the pretty side on top. There's a pretty side and a less pretty side. Sometimes the first one in the pan is ugly. I just eat that one. It's never a problem. Okay, here we go, beautiful. And then just decorate with berries. So I've got some fresh strawberries here and blueberries. Lots and lots of berries. Makes for a really pretty presentation. You can keep this simple and just serve it with sour cream and then also homemade strawberry sauce. I have a recipe for this and I will link it in the notes. It's a very popular recipe because it's easy and so delicious. Fresh strawberries in a sauce, irresistible. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna do this taste test. All right, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of sour cream. Let's fold this one more time just to make it easier to eat them. You can spread it inside, but we're just gonna do this because I cannot wait any longer. I want this bad. Look at that strawberry sauce. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what I forgot? A little bit of dusting. Dusting these with powdered sugar, it makes them so pretty. And a little bit for me. Yum, yum. Because the crepe itself isn't very sweet. They're great for sweet or savory crepes. Okay. Here we go. They feel so delicate and airy. These go down easy. So good and ridiculously simple to make. And that combination of sour cream and strawberry sauce, you have to try that. The sweet and the tangy just is a match made in heaven with these crepes. Yummy. And seriously, make these once and you'll make them over and over. Really easy to make. You don't need any fancy equipment. Even just a regular non-stick skillet will do. It's what I've done for years.